So Chana and I have the spatial audio calibration toolkit, and one of the customers was saying, "Hey, you know what? I wasn't getting sound out of my height speaker, right? The top middle specifically.
Okay.
And the reason was that he had it set up as surround heights. Right. So for anybody with not the newest one, right? If you don't have the latest and greatest Denon or Marantz,
right?
You still have the old menu. Then if you have 6 height speakers, right? And it doesn't matter where you have them. If it's in ceiling, on wall, it doesn't matter. If you want those top middles to work, it has to be set up. You have to select top middle. Doesn't matter if you have on wall speakers or not.
Right.
Because I think what some people are doing is they say, "Hey, mine are on wall,
right?
So I'm going to set them up as surround heights." Well, it just won't play anything out of those when you're playing Atmos, right? Kind of crazy. But I got a message from somebody else saying that on their 6700H, that, let me get this right, that if you have all in-ceiling speakers, you can now use those for Oro 3D.
Yeah, one of my subscribers mentioned that to me as well.
I have to test it. And if it works, I'll make a quick, short about it.
Yeah. Do you have 6 in-ceilings?
I don't. I have on-wall speakers.
But I mean, you have 6 though?
I don't, but I can easily just put 2 more.
Hook them up just to see if they produce sound. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have some that are in the right place for them.
Yeah.
But I usually switch between. I don't use them, right? I don't use that setup because I have center height and voice of God. So I kind of, I had to choose between the two.
Sure.
But I can easily try it. I actually have a spot for the rear surrounds and the side surrounds and everything. But do you have them? Which model do you have?
So I have a AV7706. I'm not even sure it'll support 6 Atmos speakers or 6 Oro or DTSX speakers, unless if you went down to like a 5 channel on the bed layer, because it's 11.2 channel AVR, or processor. But I don't think. I mean, I've never even looked in the menu to see if you can add, 6 overhead or 6 on wall or so speakers. I'm not sure.
Bear with me here.
Billy said it won't.
So I know that the new ones.
Yeah, I think you'd have to have like a 13.2 channel AVR or processor.
Here, let me share this. So, did that come up? Oh, what happened? There it is.
There you go.
All right. So this is some of the updates, right? And it shows, on the firmware, if you type in like Denon Marantz Firmware, where is it here?
Top front, top
new
rear,
feature FY23. And this was interesting. So it says top front, top rear, top middle can be used for Oro 3D playback speakers. Therefore, you can enjoy, blah, blah, blah. And it works on the X3800, X4800, right? So these are the new ones. A1H?
A1H, yep.
And then 6700H, I have that one, but that's from the older one.
Yeah, that's older.
That's what's interesting. And then 8500 is also older, right?
Yep.
And then the AV, what is that? AV10?
Yeah.
Probably. So, yeah, that's kind of.
I reviewed the 6400, but that was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Pretty old.
So I don't know how it'll sound, right? The fact that you can do it is cool.
Right, sure.
From my understanding, it's always been that you want the speaker to be further than your corresponding ear level speaker, but I haven't tried it, right? Sure. Maybe they've made some adjustments to how it works. I don't know, but it's cool that that's available. And
Wendell
the person who told me said that there's nothing available or no video available about how it works or not.
Yeah, Wendell said it played in my setup as surround heights. I have the Denon 3800H.
Oh, okay. Surround heights. Okay. Okay. Has surround heights. I think the newer ones are different though because they just have a whole new menu interface.
Yeah.
And I think that they are just more flexible about, what you can use up there.
And that's great because, I mean, the reality is we all have different size rooms. We have different goals. some people can only do 5 speakers on the bed layer, but they want to put 6 on the ceiling, or 6 on the walls, or 2 up front, and then 2 in ceilings, and 2 on the back wall. And so having that variety and that flexibility definitely is a good thing. Mark said he has the 6500. He can only run 10.1 Oro.
Okay. 65. All right. So anyway, just keep an eye out, because they're not really doing a great job of announcing all these new features, right? If you have an older 6700H like I do, I mean, old, it's not really that old.
Older, yeah.
But still, it's like, oh, cool.
Years.
New features, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's all we have for that. Did you have something that somebody mentioned to you about preamp mode? Because these are things that I haven't confirmed yet, right? I haven't tried this.
Yeah. So over in the private chat, Roger Ayer said, "Hey guys, one correction about." So we had a podcast last night, and one of the questions came up about, can I turn off? Let's say, for instance, I thought the question, I misread it actually, kind of what he was asking, but he was saying, can I offload like my LCR to an amplifier? And what he was really asking is, can I get more power to the rest of the speakers? But what I thought he was saying is, if I offload that, can I disable the left, center, and right channels in the AVR? And so anyway, so we had a conversation after that. And he said, sorry, I only had so many characters I could type in the chat. But he said, hey guys, one correction about the preamp mode in the new Denon and Marantz models. The preamps no longer are all or nothing. He said, now each channel can be turned on or off individually. I didn't know that. So let me know in the chat if you guys have one of the newer Denon and Marantz. If you try to turn, like go into preamp mode, but just only on certain channels. Do we now have that ability to be able to turn off, say, the front LCR because you've offloaded those to a 3-channel amplifier? Or maybe can you do a 5-channel amplifier and shut off those internally? So that's kind of interesting, because internally you've got the same power supply. Again, I don't know the mechanics of how those are all connected to each channel, but I just found that kind of interesting. And the cool thing is, we're all learning like every day.
Well, back when our dude Paul was over there at Sound United, whenever a new AVR would come out, they'd make sure that we had some to test out. So we got a chance to test out these different things.
Yeah.
After he's been gone,
it's like crickets over there, man.
I never get anything. So
every once in a while I'll email them and I'll get a conversation started, and then it's like I get ghosted. So it's like, it's all good.
That's a terrible job. Hey,
it's different.
What not Sound United now? It's what is it? Massimo. Not good, guys.
Yeah.
You guys, it's not just for us. It's because we are trying to help you out.
Absolutely.
Right? We want to be able to provide answers. So now I have to have,
we're guessing on some of this stuff.
I have to have other people tell me about some of the new features, and I'm gonna relay them back to the audience. So I don't know.
Parker, you mentioned you're running 3 channels separate. On 3600H you can run as many or as few as you want separate. I guess the question is can you go into preamp mode and only turn off internally in the AVR certain channels? So originally when they first came out with the new lineup, this is before the Cinema series, they had a preamp mode, but if you go into that, it literally shuts off all of your amplifiers internally. And the idea behind that was to make that AVR more like a processor. So for example, the SR8015 that I reviewed, I actually did, I put that in preamp mode and compared that to I think it was the AV7705 at that time. So it was the one right before the one I've got now. But if you go into that, it disables all of the internal amplifiers. So I'm just curious if, Parker, if you have tried turning off just certain ones, if you have that ability.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. If it works like you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, then you can have those different setups, right? Like I can have a setup for Atmos and then a separate one just for, Oro 3D, but that does require that certain things are turned off, right? Because the way it might work is that you might be using the same, whatever, surround height you know, as a different speaker. So you might have preamp
Right.
going to, you know, set of speakers.
Right.
But that same channel, or, you know, I guess, same channel.
Yeah.
You might have connected directly into the amp, another set preamp.
So that's power,
and you need one to turn off, because you can't have them both working, right?
Yeah.
That'll mess everything up.
You get some comb filtering and all kinds of.
That's no good. So yeah, that's where that comes in handy, is if you want to do two different setups using the same AVR.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how that works. Just trying to see what else, and we'll answer some questions in a second.
Yeah,
I have a few more things here. Preamp mode. What are they saying here? Anything?
So Marv is saying on the 6500, it doesn't have a preamp mode. If running all speakers with an external amplifiers, you can run eco on to reduce the power. So if you're offloading all of those, but again, I'm still wondering, can you do only some of those? I get that, you know, we could do that. He said, I think it's in preamp mode on the front three. If I'm running into the crown, rest of the channels still come out of the AVR. Okay. Oh, front three. Gotcha.
Yeah. So Dan Vaughn says, yes, Cinema 50 can run each channel as active or inactive amplification.
Okay, so it's the new series. Okay. Cool. Well, that's good. I mean, that's progress. Yeah. So maybe they heard from some consumers saying, hey, look, I don't want to turn off all of them. I mean, if I wanted to do that, I'd just buy a processor. You know, but I've got a 5-channel amp, or I've got a 7-channel amp, but I've got 11 speakers. So I need to use some of them, but I don't need to use all of them. So that's cool. All right. Appreciate that, Dan.
See, we used to know the answers. Right?
Yeah.
If we have access, if we have it in hand, we can test this stuff out.
Yep.
But if not, we kind of, you know, what do they expect us to do? They want us to watch the seminar? Like we have to go and watch another video to make a video? Like, doesn't make sense. So.
Now, if you can't catch the show, we do have an audio version at anchor.fm/daily HiFi. So make sure to go on over there if you like to listen to the show.